The Lavender Witch and the Captain. The Lavender Witch, Kelvin, sat in her cozy home on the Isle of Sheppey, a steaming cup of tea beside her. On a shimmering magical view screen, she spoke to her dear friend, Captain David, who was far away on his magnificent battleship. "I've defeated the first Dark Witch," she said, "but she was only a puppet. The true evil is a supreme Dark Witch named Morwenna, and she is hiding in the White House in America." Captain David listened intently from the bridge of his ship, the Dominion. He smiled a confident smile. "Don't you worry, darling," he replied. "I'll fire up my battleship and meet you at the White House. We'll show this Morwenna a thing or two." Captain David's blue battleship soared through the sky and hovered over the White House. Below, Kelvin was waiting for him. She had changed her clothes and was now wearing a lovely white glitter dress, a lavender shawl, and a black witch hat. She waved up at him with a grin. Kelvin pointed to a dark, shimmering shield that surrounded the White House. "Let's do this, David," she said. "It's white magic time." She raised her hands, and a huge, brilliant ray of white light shot from her fingertips, but the shield only pulsed and held strong. Captain David saw that her magic wasn't enough. "Burn!" he shouted, and from the cannons of his ship, bright red beams of light like fiery talons shot out. But even with the combined power, the shield didn't break. "Full power," David commanded, and at the same time, Kelvin fired another ray of white light. This time, it was wrapped in swirling lavender lightning and green vines. With a tremendous crack, the dark shield shattered into 1,000,000 pieces, and the Dark Witch Morwenna appeared with an army of vampires. "Keep the vampires off me, darling," Kelvin shouted. "I'll deal with the witch," David replied. "Will do, my witchy poo." Kelvin laughed and flew towards the Dark Witch. David fired all of his new 500 Alodia cannons, keeping the vampires at bay. Morwenna fired a dark bolt at Kelvin, hitting her hard, but Kelvin simply shook it off. "You are truly evil," she said, "and I will crush you for what you have done." She then summoned a giant hammer made from vines, pulsing with purple magic. Kelvin hit the Dark Witch multiple times with the magical hammer. "What? You're a witch, aren't you?" Kelvin shouted. "Make it stop." Morwenna was defeated. Kelvin then summoned the sun to finish off the rest of the vampires and bound the Dark Witch's magic so she could never suck a soul dry again. The world was saved. With their mission complete, Kelvin and Captain David boarded the Blue Dominion battleship and returned to their lovely country home on the Isle of Sheppey, ready for a well-deserved rest.